Hi poopsies, it's me Tony Bomboni ASMR. Welcome back to another ASMR video. It's been a year since my last Facts About video. I didn't expect to spread it this far apart, but you guys love these videos and I think I'm going to start doing more because I love educating myself. I love spreading knowledge about everything I know, and now that I think about it, since you guys do like my massage videos, I could even do a Facts About Massage Therapy video or being a massage therapist. Yeah, I'll link them both together in one video. So my last video was the Facts About Earth, Elements, and Angels. And just to disclose this, many people said in the comments, facts. And I'm very well aware that it's not fact, because fact is based upon fact, 100% true. And I'm neither saying that these are, or any of my videos are, like even my Facts About Outer Space video. We only know as much as we know, so it's fact-based to us, but is it really a fact? No, and we won't know unless we know for a fact. So that is to disclose even this video, whether you believe in this stuff, in the power of aromatherapy or not, it is fact if you believe it. Okay, so it's called Facts About in the title, but it's not fact unless you believe it. Okay, but from our knowledge and study about essential oils and aromatherapy, it's fact. Okay, I've gotten this information from a class I took. I took a whole class just on essential oils and aromatherapy, and this is just summarized. This class summarized for you in one video to make it easy, quick, simple, and it's also information from other sources that I've learned over the years about essential oil and aromatherapy. So it's pretty much all just quick and easy if you want a summarized course on the whole thing. If you're interested in aromatherapy, I was always interested in aromatherapy. I love essential oils and all that stuff. It's very much a passion for me. I even want to eventually, when I get old and crusty, if I make it to that age, then I want to study like herbology just in my spare time, like the advanced Latin words and all the knowledge of like the plants, flowers, and all that stuff. It's very interesting to me. I love the combination of herbs. Now you can compose teas out of it, and it's very advanced, deep-rooted stuff. And herbs are actually like medicine, and medicine are like herbs. They can be dangerous and they can be good for you if you mix the wrong herbs together. You can make a deadly concoction. So it's a whole knowledge and awareness, and that's why you can't just go ahead and make your own teas, because a combination of certain herbs can actually be very poisonous. So, by the way, if you don't notice in the background, I got some new lights. I keep buying lights and adding on to them. So slowly they're just going to end up being more and more lights. I have the purples, the blues, the yellows, and the whites. I just added the cool white color. You might be able to see this strand. These are the cool white. So eventually it's just going to be a bunch of lights. Behind me is like 400 lights, literally. You can't see them all in the background, as there's way more above and on the left and right and below. But yeah, it takes a lot of lights to get the right effect that I'm looking for. So whenever I find a new color, I'll just add on. So, all right, enough about that. I have a few props to show you as demonstration to make sound, not only me talking, but I am going to be looking at my notes. I'm going to be talking basically all about essential oils and aromatherapy in here. And then I have a whole paper based on making a powerful concoction for sleep, which coincidentally was also in the knowledge I've acquired. And so I'm just going to go into it just like the last video. What is aromatherapy? It is basically the practice of using the natural oils from the earth, which are then extracted from things like flowers, stems of plants, certain leaves, bark from trees, and such, roots of plants, or any other part of a plant, to enhance the psychological and physical well-being, to harmonize and balance you It is also used to promote the health of your body overall. Excuse me, just had some orange juice. Your spirit and mind. And it's a form of complementary therapy designed to treat you as a whole, your whole individual self as a person, not just your symptom or your dis-ease. And remember, dis-ease is just dis-ease of the body. You're not at ease in a particular location caused by mental, emotional, physical, spiritual suffering of some sort. You manifest this in the body through prolonged periods of being not at ease with a particular thing. It could be worry, anxiety, fear, etc., stress. Not just the symptom or dis-ease, by assisting the body's natural capability to regulate, heal, balance, harmonize, and maintain itself. Okay, so that is basically the summary of aromatherapy as a whole. Okay, that's the wholesome definition of what it is. When a person inhales an essential oil aroma, it's carried by the olfactory nerve cells, which are in your nose, your nostril canal, your sinuses. That is the olfactory nerve is in there, okay? It can be a very dangerous place if you are infected there because it's linked with the brain through the olfactory nerve. And it links to the olfactory system. It sends the aroma that you've inhaled to your brain, which is your limbic system, okay? It houses your emotions, your emotional behavior, such as passion, intimacy, sex. Essential oil is essentially a mood enhancer. So endorphins and serotonin become released through your brain. These are chemicals we manipulate every day through the power of the limbic system. Okay, so the aromas help release these chemicals. There's the power of scent. There's a reason why we don't like when someone farts. The aroma does not necessarily enhance our chemical composition in any formula. They say it helps to heal cancer to smell fart or poop, but I don't know too much about that. I can't say for sure it's fact, but this is fact. We smell something, any particular scent, it is traveled through our olfactory nerve. We don't smell through our tongue. So that is fact, okay? Your sense of smell is 10,000 times more powerful than any other sense, such as hearing, taste, sight, palpability, touch. The smell is your fifth one. And they say your sixth sense is like your third eye, your spiritual. And then the seventh one would be like beyond that, beyond our understanding, beyond our awareness. And so that's pretty amazing. Smell is the strongest link to your subconscious mind and also our collective unconscious, okay? That's where the memories are stored, your unconscious. People often dissociate or confuse. They make a mixture of the two, subconscious, unconscious. They're one and the same in regard to them not being on the level of our conscious awareness levels. However, they have their own set of differences, which I am actually learning right now through hypnotherapy. And I will go delve into that and create a facts about hypnotherapy video as well. And work on other projects relating to that, like me offering my hypnotherapy sessions to you guys, to see you guys. Essential oils have high antioxidant properties. Antioxidants, what are they? They're just basically compounds found in plants that stop or delay damage to your cells. Okay? So when you see foods saying, oh, this is high in antioxidants, or those vitamins people take, that is for that, to treat the harm done within your cells, which thus compose you as one entire organism. You are basically functioning on a level as where you are a multicellular organism, in a sense, whereas there are multiple different types of cells, like your bones, your skeletal system, your digestive system has different cells, and there are different names of cells, groupings like epithelial cells, squamous cells, and such. So they're all working together through your 12 or 13, I think, systems we have. I wonder if I can remember that from the top of my head. Skeletal, limbic, nervous. I can't remember. Let's do some EFT tapping to remember. I'm just kidding. That's not going to help. But there's a lot. I can't believe I'm getting brain freeze. The universe doesn't want me to say it, but I remember them. I really do. I want to say it because I don't want to sound like duh. Skeletal, limbic, nervous, circulatory. I'm trying to remember the one where people form. It's not coming. Like your skin is one whole organ, right? And this basically just impacts your skin because you can apply the essential oils and aromatherapy products, and it impacts your sense of smell, taste, if you put it in like a drink, if there's essential oil safe for drinking, for consumption. Oh my gosh, wait, I forget this. There's a lot. There's your tissues, there's your muscular system. I'm trying to remember the one that's like in your armpits, in your ankles, in your groin, in your neck. The one that cancers form from. Well, they can form elsewhere, but I'm having a brain freeze. It's important though, because it is linked to a lot of your system, and people are not aware they have this within themselves. I learned this in massage, but regardless, I'll let it slide. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But basically, if it comes to me, I'll let you know. Oxidative damage caused by free radicals is implicated in everything from wrinkling and aging, heart disease, DNA damage, premature death, etc. So free radicals are basically, can be harmful in the long run to cause all of this discomfort, disease. So the antioxidants that I just mentioned, they control the free radical damage at a cellular level and are said to support your youthful aging and overall health of the body. So I have composed an image here that explains how it works on a chemistry level. I was never good at chemistry, but I just, yeah. So basically the antioxidant, imagine it as like a globule circular thing, has an electron attached to it. So here's the antioxidant, and on the tip of my knuckle, an electron has been attached. Think of the atoms in chemistry. So the antioxidant has the electron to donate to the free radical, which is, this is the free radical. And the free radical accepts the new electron. The free radical kind of is like this. It's curved inwards. It has a bump, or an indent, I should say, so that the electron can attach and fill its place. I know it's hard to visualize, but think of that. So the electron goes from the antioxidant to the free radical. And the free radical is now neutralized. So once the electron attaches, it is neutralized and can no longer do any harm, since the antioxidant has donated its electron to the free radical. So that's the purpose of antioxidants. Without that, the free radical is missing something. Imagine a soul that feels empty, a person that feels lonely all the time, no purpose. They feel something's missing. Imagine that as a free radical roaming around, and they're doing harm to them, not only themselves, but the whole body that they're in, their existence, until they receive this electron that they feel they're missing. So that's the purpose of antioxidants, which ironically, some aromatherapy can help with people who feel this way. So that's why I gave it as an example. Essential oils have higher antioxidant strength than vegetables and fruits. It's very true. They're very, very powerful. I think I'll go into it more, but I think 100,000 times more powerful than any other aroma. So then when you apply the essential oil, which I actually have to demonstrate now, this is an example of one. Alright, this one is specifically used for vitality purposes, and it is a 100% pure essential oil therapeutic grade one. You always want to make sure that it is that type of oil, and I'll go into that more. But they will have their names usually on it, and it will instruct you what their purpose is for. This one has cinnamon leaf, geranium, lemon, black pepper, caraway, copaiba, frankincense, ginger, hyssop, mandarin, orange, and vanilla oil. They will always give a little warning that says possible skin sensitivity. Keep out of reach of children. If you're pregnant, nursing, or under doctor's care, consult your physician. Avoid contact with the eyes, inner ears, and sensitive areas. Okay, such as the mouth, usually, or anywhere where you have mucous membranes. Like, you don't want to ever put the oil up your nose. You can inhale it, but don't get it too close to like the eye. Anywhere where you have rash, irritative. You don't want to get it in the ear at all. In certain sensitive skin areas as well. Suggested use is for aromatherapy or is directed by professional essential oil reference. Okay, so that's how it is. Usually they come in these small tubs because it's pretty expensive to get all that oil because it's concentrated. And I'll go into the whole factory process of how they're made too, but typically you would just get a drop, and it's a very, oily material. And one drop is more than enough to send up the whole room. You usually dilute this in many parts water versus oil. However, it does separate from the liquid, so you do want to combine the oil with something that will not separate from the water when you mix it in. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's not a diffuser, but somehow it separates the oils. I really don't know how to explain. They didn't go too in depth with that. I wish they did, but I'll go into that more. But here it is actually. Ironically, the oils are absorbed through the skin. Okay, the largest organ of the body. Do not dissolve in H2O and attach to body fat and fluids. Okay, so yeah, you need a component that is fatty and other type of liquid besides water so that the oil can mix in. Perhaps you can even mix it with things like almond oil, olive oil, any type of oil that is absorbable through your skin instead of water, okay? So then when you mix those, then you can sort of combine it with water through the power of aromatherapy, but I guess you could put it in something like this, okay, an aroma diffuser, and then they typically will require you to put 3 to 5 drops in the container, and then it will diffuse it and create an aroma. There's a whole process in here that goes on that combines the two and purifies the air, so that's all you really need for a whole tank of water. About this size, I would not put too much. Even 1 to 2 drops is usually more than enough. Kind of overpowers the room. So basically, the oils also enhance your immune strength by fighting off the free radicals I just mentioned in the cells. So free radicals are basically waste products. So we get that from certain foods that are no good for us, and our body does not know what to do with those chemicals. They're just like, I can't absorb this, I can't process this in the body, it's worthless, and I will just get rid of it in the urea through your pee and on your fecal matter and all that stuff. So, sometimes even so why aromatherapy boosts your mood? And you're asking yourself, okay, how does this all work? The oils promote good feelings of vitality, mentioned earlier, and wellness, through the process called entrainment. Okay, think of training, going in the training of the body. Entrainment. The oils contain a high frequency, a high vibrational frequency, which is basically the vibration that you resonate on, which I think a healthy, ideal conditioned human body is about 70 hertz. And so if you're about 50, you start feeling under the weather, and these aromas will help to elevate your vibration to be as close to ideal. The oils contain a high frequency. They raise the vibration of the user. Human body has their own frequency called the energy field. So that is what I just mentioned. Your energy field is vital for your vitality. There is a machine called the BT3, a frequency monitoring system that measures the frequency of plants. Okay, the BT3 frequency monitoring system. And I was amazed to discover this when I was learning that this even existed. But yes, every living being, even a plant is a living being, resonates on a vibrational frequency. So you think that nothing around you is alive but yourself, or you feel that you're all alone, but there's actually liveliness in everything, even the wall, even the camera in front of me. Okay, there's atoms in everything. Okay, that camera was produced through something. Okay, it doesn't just exist. So there's just little tiny microscopic movements of energy in everything. Okay. Frequency of energy is measured in hertz. Frequency is the number of oscillations or movements of energy waves per second. So I'm beginning to learn about beta, alpha, theta, and delta brainwave activity. But basically, when you enter into the hypnotic trance induction, you begin to lower your frequencies, which are the oscillations of the waves per a certain allotted amount of period of time. So when we are in normal awakened consciousness, we are at a beta level. And so that is about, I think, I don't even remember. This is just brainwaves specifically, not the energy field hertz, but just the brainwaves specifically, I think was up to like 20 or 18 or something like that. And when you lower deeper into the trance, then you start to lower the frequency as well, so that the therapist may activate other parts of your brain, the subconscious level. So in certain instances, it is okay to lower a vibration to access other points that you're looking for. However, in this case, overall your energy field you never want to lower. Okay? In other words, you get ill, diseases, etc. And disease actually does naturally lower your vibrational energy. So, I know that so far, though, there's beta, alpha, theta, then delta. Delta is like a lower wavelength, but that's just for brain. 1 hertz is 1 oscillation. So, if you have 70 hertz, you're vibrating on, that's 70 oscillations per second, supposedly. 1 kilohertz is 1,000 oscillations per second. Kilo is 1,000, so 1,000. 1 megahertz, 1 million oscillations per second. Okay, 1 MHC is 1 mega, 1 KHC is 1 kilo, and 1 HC is 1 hertz. So you're aware when something says 1 megahertz of energy. Okay. Alright, so a healthy human body, here it is, 62 to 70 megahertz. Not hertz, my bad. It's megahertz. So 70 million hertz that we resonate on. Alright, that's a very high frequency. That's what makes us alive. Okay. were 70, that was a big a big mistake. We'd be like, big difference. Okay. Human cells change or mutate when they're below 62. So mutations like cancers or just odd developments in the body begin to occur when you drop your megahertz below 62 mil. 58 megahertz is the cold and flu. So these tend to attract more ailments, more disease, which is why we want to get out of them as soon as possible. Candida is a disease of the body which may develop at 55 megahertz. The Epstein-Barr virus starts developing at 52. Now imagine lowering even more. Cancer starts developing at 42, believe it or not. That's very, very low. That's almost half of your regular levels, which is why it may be very difficult for some people to get out of that. And the death process begins at 20. So imagine just even less than a third of your normal levels. That's when the decay process begins, basically, when it's kind of too late to turn back. The oils entrain the cells of the body to increase the vibratory rate. Good health is at 70, ideally. When molecules of essential oils are swallowed, inhaled, applied to skin, or internalized in some way in the body, they resonate with your tissues. The tissues are basically under the skin, above the muscle, at the frequencies intrinsic to their molecular spectrum. Okay? So, basically, whatever frequency the oil resonates on, they start to activate in your body's tissues once they're absorbed through your skin. Now I'm starting to remember all of a sudden endocrine system. Lymphatic system, that's the one I forgot about. Now it's coming to me. See, the more I talk, the more it begins to flow. There's more systems. Urinary system. And then reproductive system. It's coming now. And then it'll come to me. As well as their, so the frequency intrinsic to the molecular spectrum, as well as their resultant harmonic and beat frequencies. So everything has sound and some harmonic frequency, which thus harmonizes and it internalizes within the body to elevate your vibrational levels. So imagine them like beats, like music. So they kind of have that like sound. Any wave, it has some form of sound. You can hear it if you tune to its frequency. So everything is on that level. Nothing is really quiet. It just seems quiet to us because we're not tuned to that frequency of hearing. Okay, we can only hear a very specific range of sound. Imagine if you can hear all of that. Yeah, what a beautiful world. So this increases your own natural electromagnetic vibes, which electromagnetic I did go into in the angelic healing video. I'll basically summarize it again for you. It is the electronic kind of magnetizing, whatever you want to call it. So the electric and magnetic vibration of everything. So there is a frequency in the electromagnetic spectrum of light, such as violet rays, white light, and certain yellow lights, red light. Think of microwaves, think of UV rays. So they are vibrating on what we call an electromagnetic spectrum, and there are certain levels that you see them at. Okay? So it increases those vibes and restores coherence to your electric fields to maintain the wellness of your body and produce healing. So you begin healing once you increase your vibration from whatever you're going through. Okay. So these oils raise your frequency in 21 seconds, believe it or not. Coffee lowers your vibration drastically in only 3 seconds. So that is as soon as you smell a cup of coffee, as soon as you drink it, 3 seconds is all it takes to lower your vibration. And I was so shocked at this because I have coffee every morning. So I remember I genuinely felt better when I stopped drinking it after a while. I recently went dark, just sugar, but I need to stop. A negative thought form, like, oh, today's gonna be so bad, lowers your frequency by 12 megahertz. So you're constantly altering. You're never just at the steady, stable 70 unless you're, I don't know, a robot. But you can begin to get sick from negative thoughts and from harmful foods and liquids that you consume in the body. Because if you can consume the oil that will raise your vibration, you can consume like a cup of coffee that can lower it. It works the same way through different systems in your body. Prayer and meditation raises it by 15 megahertz, and positive thoughts raised it by 10. So that's very important to pray and meditate daily. If not pray, just meditate. Meditation is almost like prayer. It's one and the same, because through meditation you can become aware of what it is you need to work on in yourself and have that peace of mind and the time aside to tune into yourself. And that's how we find the most answers. So it's quite similar to prayer in that essence. And thus develop positive thoughts and thinking mindset. So it's connected. So think between 10 and 15 megahertz, that's about 12 and a half frequencies. So a negative thought, unfortunately, is 12 frequencies. So it's almost like you can't even fight the negative thought if you mix in negative with positive. So you have to constantly think positive to fight the negative. Otherwise, the negative kind of overpowers everything you just did through prayer, meditation, etc. So quite unfortunate that they're much more powerful. But at least we have that option to maintain our youth and health. Essential oils vibrate like medicine. They are vibratory medicine. As I mentioned earlier, herbs are like medicine. Essential oils are all they are essentially are oils extracted from herbs. Okay. There are several oils when you blend them together that create different frequencies. A frequency will emerge that may be lower or higher than various other components. So let's say you mix this oil I mentioned earlier with the other one, it'll start resonating at a different frequency when combined rather than its own individual self. Okay, makes sense? Kind of like doing math, subtract, plus, minus. The oils of higher frequencies begin to affect your emotions. Okay? Excuse me, I need to get a drink of higher frequency. Hey, it's better than coffee, okay? Lower frequencies start forming structural and physical changes. Sight, sound, touch, taste receive sensory data from the environment. Sight, sound, touch. Okay. Which is transferred through the nervous system to the brain. Okay. All scents, like all sound, have their own frequency, as I mentioned earlier, okay? So what are essential oils overall? They are volatile aromatic compounds. So basically small organic molecules that tend to change quickly from their solid or liquid state to a gas at room temperature. Okay, so that's why they say you should shut these very quickly when you open them, because they will begin to dissipate. Okay. There are over 3,000 volatile aromatic compounds. Okay. On the physical level, they act as antiseptic, disinfection. They can oxygenate your cells. They remove toxins, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, and an immune stimulant. Okay? I don't know on a level of all viruses, however, they may help alleviate some discomfort that is caused by a certain virus. We want to be mindful that just because you consume aromatherapy in any level, through any sense, that it does not mean that it is guaranteed to help with alleviation of some form. It is just meant to raise your frequency in some way, and if it fails to do so, then it is for another purpose or beyond the levels of what essential oil and aromatherapy can perform for you. Okay? On the emotional level, they can alter and uplift your mood, the way you feel. On a vibratory level, they lift your frequency naturally. So that's without even putting effort into it. They just, I heard even just opening this and putting it next to you will automatically increase your frequency. I mean, just the fact that I open this up right now and smell it, within 21 seconds, it will start to do something. Okay? All right. And they say the same even for a cup of coffee. Just having it near you, looking at it, just the energy of it itself will begin to lower your vibrations. And sometimes it is okay to lower it if you want to feel more relaxed, more calm in yourself, because the beta state of, at least what I'm aware of the brain waves, they help you feel more alert, communicative, responsive to various stimulants around you. And so to lower that is sometimes okay. Sometimes people are like, you hear the saying, I just want to relax and have a cup of coffee. They want to purposefully and intentionally lower their frequency to elevate their well-being in a sense where they can choose to lower the way they feel to become in a state of comfort. And you would say, okay, it does the opposite effect because coffee actually does stimulate you and help you become more awake, but through a semi-unnatural process, because your coffee beans are coffee beans, but they go through a filtering process, a chemical treatment, typically, when they make it to the shelf at the Walmart. And there's always something else in your coffee, in your Starbucks, where combined with caramel, syrup, and sugar and milk, it begins to lose its true value and purpose, such as if you were to combine an essential oil with hairspray, because you want your hair to smell good. The hairspray totally killed off its purpose and meaning, and the chemical sort of overpowered it, just as I stated earlier with the negative thoughts and the positive. The negative will somehow overpower it, such as a free radical, if it were any more powerful, could overpower an antioxidant. Thankfully it doesn't. Otherwise we would probably not be alive. But if they began putting more harmful chemicals such as GMOs in the food, and all the free radicals, waste products start coming in, that's how they enter our body. And some say even through televisions and radios, and there are certain frequencies that are resonated which lower your vibration when you hear it all the time. So that's why I kind of avoid the news. But regardless, just the subconscious action of the world is going to poop and all that stuff will just lower your frequency, which is why I choose not to view it at all costs. But I hope this is beginning to connect the dots and make more sense to you now as I go along. So that's where I mean on a level of it affecting your emotions, and it starts to change the way you think, because if you feel sadness, how are you going to force yourself to think positively if you just feel this way? So meditation, prayer, like I said, will help you thus stimulate the positive thoughts to come through and then elevate your vibration. Okay, I'm not saying avoid going into a coffee shop at all costs. No, if you feel the need to, just do what your body needs, what feels right. Because if you alter your frequency too quickly from a lower to higher and vice versa state, then that can cause disease and discomfort because you start to tip the scales of the balance and harmony in your body, and it does the opposite effect. So you think forcing yourself to do higher vibrational frequency of any form, prayer, meditation, all of a sudden cutting your regular diet will do you justice. However, it's doing the opposite effect because you tip the harmony, the harmonic frequency that you're used to resonating at. So you have to do it slowly. You have to start working it slowly. That's why I don't like all these fad diets that go into starve yourself for 4 or 5 days and then you'll lose weight or whatever. No, it actually does the opposite effect. And fat cells begin to produce more, and sugars begin to excrete themselves from your cells because you are all of a sudden missing what you normally consume, and so your body's trying to compensate and produce chemically what it's missing. So keep that in mind, okay? Take everything with a grain of salt, even what I say, but this is just everything that I'm aware of thus far. Okay. So how are essential oils extracted? They're, as I mentioned earlier, pulled from herbs of the earth, different plants, through processes called steam distillation. So basically imagine if you were to eat like smoked meat, like smoked pork or something, and the process of sort of steaming it naturally through the smoke maintains the flavoring in the meat, okay? And so think of it as, instead of meat, putting the plants and herbs in there, all those flowers are packed in this glass container of sorts, and then they would steam the plant, and the steam from the herbs are thus extracted through these little tubes that come out, and that is the aroma that it is pulling out, and thus the oil of the plant. There's also a thing called cold pressing. I'm really not sure what that is. There's absolute oil extraction. I don't remember why I paragraphed it solvent, but I suppose they juice or squeeze it out somehow. And there's also a thing called resin tapping. I believe the best way, the most highest vibratory state of the oil would be caused by pulling the properties through the process of steam distillation. Just sounds way more natural, easier, perhaps. And that's typically what most essential oils are produced through. Yeah. So there are different grades, like I mentioned. This is thankfully a 100% pure essential oil, a therapeutic grade. So it's a grade A. If it's therapeutic grade, grade A. Anything 100% pure is grade A, even if it's a blend, like a mixture of different herbs or frequency intense. Like if it says meditation for sexual stimulus, for relaxation, then if they combine the two, like meditation and relaxation, or stress relief and memory, like for helping with remembering things, then that's okay, so long as it is 100% pure blend. So these basically are safe for internal use. So I think these warrant, as these stated on the warning label, you always want to be mindful of this as well. There were some that I used before that you could put into your water, and I would drink it and it tasted really good, but you do want to be mindful of that and ensure that it is safe for your internal use. So there's grade B, which is natural products like in food. And these are natural and certified products, but they have some chemicals inside. Okay, so they're basically anything we consume. They're just as good. However, keep in mind that you may be intaking something that would have free radicals in it. Now, perfumes, this is the ones you don't even want to bother consuming. They will not only lower your vibration, they will poison you. These purely have chemicals and solvents, and they are extended and altered. So they basically took everything natural out and combined it and wrapped it around in all this beautiful stuff to make you smell good. So it's not. So the quality begins to lower now as we go into the lower quality. I wouldn't even call them a D or F. They're just bad. So these are floral waters. They're synthetic, nature identical products, typically used for your hair and skin, maybe even nails. So I would almost call this nail polish remover. Like, these are just the, at least some perfumes have, would I say resin tapping? Of per se rose, like rose water in it, but combined with other chemicals like alcohol to treat it and make it into something safe to absorb in the skin, but overpower the aroma to where you smell good or smell stronger than a typical essential oil would, because essential oils typically tend to smell bland and dull, kind of like if, how do I say this without, this may sound silly, but if sweaty socks smelled good, that's the kind of damp smell it has in a weird way. Like if your cooking oil smelled good, that's the best way to explain it. It's just that. But on a C and lower level, then those were definitely treated. So you can't trust the dry shampoo that says rose and panties. Like, okay, but why does it smell different or so good? You can tell typically when you spray something on, it's going to smell very alcohol-y and very fragranty. It's not natural. Plants don't usually smell that intensely and good aromatically unless you chemically treat it to enhance the aroma. Okay. So floral water is often used for more expensive oils such as rose oil, since it takes 5,000 pounds of roses just to make 1 pound of this essential oil. So rose oil is, granted, perhaps the most expensive one to purchase. I think I saw one that went for like $500. Yeah, it's very costly, and it was just like a small bottle. I kind of misunderstood this part though, because it says lower quality are floral waters, yet they're used for more expensive oils such as rose oil. I think what this implied was that a lot of people use the label 100% pure rose oil and sell it for like $5-10 a tiny bottle, disregarding the fact that it's actually worth like $100 for that same amount, because they put in a lot of floral water in that to make it seem like it's rose oil, or deem itself to be worthy of being called rose oil, just to be sold in the market for a much lower price. But it really does take a lot to make pure rose oil. You can find it, you just have to go through a reputable place. I would not trust just Amazon. Alright, so let's go into the topic of essential oils versus drugs. Okay. So basically they work in opposing ways. You can't expect your essential oil to work the same way as your Claritin for allergy relief. It just does not work. You cannot combine the two. You can't expect to take them and then take your essential oil, smell it, and then think, oh, that's gonna double the effect. Actually, you oppose the effect, if not worsen it, because you've just lowered your vibration through the power of these drugs. So drugs toxify. They clog and confuse your receptor sites, which are, remember, the whatever is being able to be received, receptive. So think of the free radical that felt empty. Those are your healthy cells that then grab the electrons it needs, per se. There's another name for it, but I forgot what it's called. So basically the drugs will clog and confuse those sites of your cells. It's like a band-aid. They'll be like, we're not really going to solve the problem for you, but we'll just clog your emptiness just to coat it and make you feel better temporarily. So oils detoxify. They clean your receptor sites and even fill them with healthy antioxidants. So drugs depress the immune system and oils strengthen the immune system. Okay. So basically antibiotics that you intake, they attack your bacteria indiscriminately. So they don't discriminate between what type of bacteria, they just attack them all. It's a war zone in there. They will just kill all your healthy ones. A perfect example is when I took a certain prescription for my acne to make them go away, and then my intestinal region began to feel discomfort and a sharp pain. And when I stopped taking them, it went away. And actually that is caused by those drugs over a prolonged period of time attacking all of your bacteria, even your good bacteria. It starts thinking, okay, this body is taking all of these prescriptions for a reason. We must not be doing something right. So we're going to keep attacking until we get rid of them all. Okay? And that's not what they disclose to you at the doctor's office, but because apparently a profit's more important to some people, they will disregard the whole truth and keep giving you something that is in the long term not beneficial. So it did help with what I was looking for, but with the cost of doing some form of temporary damage in other regions of the body that I wasn't even aware was possible. Okay, so they'll attack any and all, killing good and bad bacteria. They don't care. They just do one job. They just know that one job. As soon as they go in, they cause war. Now the oils attack only the harmful bacteria, not your good ones. They know where your good ones are, and they keep them safe. And in fact, produce even better health for them as well in return. Drugs are one-dimensional beings. They are robotic. They do what they do, even if there is no benefit. The oils, however, are multidimensionary beings. They have homeostatic intelligence, so they know the homeostasis of the body and what it needs to maintain its equilibrium to elevate your frequency long term. They adapt to your body's changes, so it doesn't matter if you start gaining, losing weight, you exercise more, they conform to that. Drugs have side effects because as soon as you change your routine, your diet, your sleep patterns, they cause an effect in response to your sudden change. Because they're so one-dimensional, they only know how to produce that one task, unlike the oils, which are aware of your shifts in vibration as well. They adapt to your body changes. They raise or lower your blood pressure. Okay? They stimulate or repress enzymes' activities by energizing or relaxing them, whichever is necessary for the overall well-being of your body as a whole. So basically, oils are smart, drugs are dumb. Drugs are designed to send misinformation to your cells and block your receptor sites to trick your body in giving symptoms. Okay. So basically, they will go into those empty vessels and coat it and make you think something's happening that is totally the opposite of what is occurring. They don't deal with the actual cause of the disease, such as worry, fear, anxiety. There are always side effects because you will naturally disrupt your body's functions by taking these medications because they're not healthy. They're chemicals, they're foreign material, and you're allowing it to enter, thinking that it will do something, but in reality, it's just coding a deeper rooted issue. In some circumstances, there are other circumstances, like I said, that I would not call this effect. Keep in mind, such as if you have to take something post-surgery, or if you have to take something to help neutralize certain chemical levels, and I'm not stating in any shape or form that one should begin to consume essential oils rather than their prescribed medication because of thinking that it will shift the way their body is functioning. In fact, if you do this all of a sudden, like I said, it will do more damage than good. So this is always something you have to talk to your physician about. Do not consult with me. Do not consult with the advice I just gave in this video. Do not think the back of the essential oil blend will tell you that this is the best thing ever and you only need to be using this and that's it. You're good for life. No. Keep this in mind, okay? I made this very clear in the beginning and I'm going to make it clear once more. Everything I say here is only for those who are perhaps thinking, oh, should I take a medication? Or should I try essential oils? Okay? Still talk to your doctor. However, this is better for those individuals rather than those who have taken their meds for months or years and all of a sudden want to change. You know what I mean? It is better for those to maybe experiment with oils and see if maybe that works. And if it doesn't work, then they switch to medication. So keep that in mind. There's many, many, many different circumstances that this could go along. So this is just to give you knowledge and awareness and keep an open mind, okay? That's all. It's not meant to be taken like, I'm going to listen to what Tony says. Okay. The oil molecules in essential oils, they send information to your cells and cleanse your receptor sites, so they bring the body back to its natural functioning. So they balance your body. They harmonize it. The drugs unbalance, they tip the scales. The oils address the cause of disease at a cellular level by deleting misinformation. Okay? They reprogram your correct information so the cells can begin to function and harmonize properly. So any misbelief or on a cellular level that you can't even see or weren't even aware about that the cells were misinformed of, there are perhaps other medications, all of a sudden the oils get rid of that, clean those sites, and then fill it with antioxidants to overall balance. The drugs misinform the cells. They're fed in the cells so that the temporary relief is then thus obtained, but no healing is done. We all know that. They trade one kind of disease to another, so they kind of compensate in your body. They're like, well, what can we do to make this body alive, but help it feel some relief in some way, such as through pain relief. So they're thinking, they're like, okay. Imagine you're taking 2 prescriptions, and they're kind of not harmonizing well within one another. So they have to work in some way, they have to do their job. But drug A and drug B are not cooperating well. One has to do one task, but because of this B, it's getting in the way of doing the task A. So they combine into one being, but the effect is degeneration of your bones, for example. So they have to overall do their job because they were consumed and they are dissolving, and those chemicals have to go somewhere. But there is an effect because of this. So because of those effects, if you stop taking them after a while, the oil, and you start taking the oils instead, they come in and they start to slowly clean those sites that had those effects and start realizing what your body really needs to balance itself. Again, this should all be done slowly. This is just a broad example. So adulteration is the engineered and extended process of synthetic chemicals. So when you hear adulteration, the alteration of the adult, that helps me remember it. It is, again, robotic. Think alter, synthetic chemicals, engineer, extend. So you're being like a robot being repaired in some way. So they're altering your body through the process of synthetic, fake chemicals. So basically that is all the information on aromatherapy and essential oils. I did want to go into one more thing as to how to make your own blend using rose oil and jasmine flowers. Okay, so basically this is used to help you sleep. If you're having trouble, just make sure that this is, again, like I mentioned earlier, the 100% pure essential oil therapeutic grade A rose oil, and that it's expensive, otherwise it's not real, okay? So therapeutic grade rose and jasmine essential oils are required for this. You need these two. You need a spray bottle. Make sure it's a dark one, you know, those blue tinted glass bottles that you can buy at like a craft store or something. It needs to be dark so that the rays of the outer world cannot come in and affect the oil. They can prolong the life of them and keep their shelf life without releasing any oxygen. If you get like a typical plastic bottle, the plastic will degrade over time and enter in the oil and do the opposite effect. You need distilled water for this. Okay, you need a milliliter measuring beaker, and you need to have labels to be mindful of the expiration date and what products you are using so that you don't confuse one for the other, and know when their time is up, because these do have a shelf life as well. Especially if you keep them open for more periods, the shelf life begins to lower. You need 100 milliliters of distilled water and 40 drops of essential oil. You need 20 drops of each, so rose 20, jasmine 20. Okay. So here are some properties of each oil. Rose oil is a good anti-inflammatory. It is an antidepressant. It's used to treat wounds, protects against viruses. It's good skin care. It's an aphrodisiac. It helps with wrinkles and aging. And it also helps eliminate toxins and purify your blood. Now, jasmine oil can relieve depression as well. It causes the serotonin I mentioned earlier in the brain to be released and works with your respiratory system. So good for breathing, so I'd inhale the jasmine as well. It is also an antiseptic and disinfectant, as well as an aphrodisiac as well. It begins to fade your scar marks, and it helps with insomnia relief, and induces childbirth and lactation, believe it or not. So I can imagine if you mix rose and jasmine, it helps with sleep and depression. So I did want to go into roses a bit more and show you the flower itself. My mom just picked this today. Coincidentally, she didn't even know I was doing a video on this, but it's like she knew. It's a fresh rose from the entrance, and it just looks so pretty. And this is a little bit of basil put in this water to help it grow stems. So imagine how nice this would smell if I steam distilled the basil and the rose. Make my own blend. But if I steam distilled just one rose, it would be like nothing. I need 5,000 pounds of you for 1 pound. But it's still pretty nonetheless. I love a good rose. So. And I don't have the actual jasmine flower, but I do have a satchel to show you an example of a grade C, if not even lower, jasmine. So here it says jasmine. It's a scented sachet, and it's just a bag used to aromatize your drawers, basically, your linens. And in no way does it say that it's safe for consumption. It is just used with the richest oil and finest ingredients to provide soothing fragrance and alter and shift your mood, enhance the ambiance and freshness in the home. So this is a perfect example of some product that you know is not a grade A or B, perhaps even C, because C's are their perfumes. You can absorb it, but this, if you took it out of the bag and put it, like, it's harmful. So this would actually be a lower grade one, like a, what I call a D minus or D less than C, a D or less. So those are the floral waters of the aromas. They would be the bad toxic ones. But it smells nice. I love the aroma. I thought I would just show it just because that's the only rose or jasmine related thing I have in the home. I eventually will buy some real rose oil, but not now. So basically, for this concoction in healthy adults, you just need 2 drops of the oil per 5 milliliters. Carrier, so that's what it was called, a carrier oil. So you can use anything, like I said, almond, olive oil, coconut oil is a good one, perhaps. Just make sure it's true and genuine oil, not any blend of other chemicals. So 5 milliliters or 5 teaspoons, one or the other, carrier. So 2 drops of oil per 5 ml or teaspoon of carrier oil. So for elders and younger people, you need 1 drop of oil per 5 milliliters of oil or water. So you can mix even water in that instance, which I'm not sure why you would, but I guess you would just maybe if you were going to use an aromatherapy diffuser. I don't know. So basically, once you mix these rose and jasmine in the proper levels that I just mentioned for healthy adults or elders or younglings, you'd spray it in the bedroom before sleep. I like to put fragrances on pillows, blankets, curtains, maybe in the closet, make the clothes freshen up a bit. When you work with clients or do energy work such as through the power of angelic healing, which I've done a video on that as well, it just harmonizes their overall being and creates these antidepressive qualities that it claims to have within the oil. It's also a great air freshener, so I bet even greater if you were to use inauthentic rose oil. Alright, poopsies, that was everything. That was a lot. I'm sorry if it was too much. I think overall, when you start using them, you'll become more aware and have a clear picture of how this all works. And to be honest, it still amazes me how it does it all. There were certain charts and graphs that I've seen as to where it showed the frequency of each oil from certain herbs, and there were certain ones that had immense amounts of frequencies that I was so perplexed and blown away by. These oils have higher frequencies than we can even comprehend, really. So just being near them, as I stated, will somehow elevate your mood. And don't think putting that next to a cup of coffee will do anything, because coffee will just counter it, So be mindful of what you consume, basically. And a good point to start off, where I have started off my journey with essential oils and aromatherapy, are inhaling them each morning. I used to have a lemon and a lavender one, and a mint, a peppermint. And I would just smell the peppermint when I needed to study or do homework. I would smell the lemon when I could wake up in the morning and increase my mood. And I would smell the lavender before bed at night when I need to relax, and even put a drop of it on my feet to help with anxiety. So there are different oils for different reasons. Don't start grabbing all the oils and smelling them all at once. That's not going to do any good than that cup of coffee. And just whatever you're drawn to, such as through healing crystals, you would pick a crystal to meditate with that you feel drawn to that day, because it has a certain vibration that you're more closer to that may help you intuitively elevate your vibration. So you pick these things every day because you know deep inside what's best for you that day, to either raise or lower your vibration for a certain overall reason, if you think of the bigger picture. So you Same as with essential oils. Choose these oils at a particular time because you need it for a particular reason and purpose. So that's why I like having multiple essential oils, just have multiple crystals so that I can pick and choose between different ones each day. And you can choose 2 or more, of course, but don't go choosing all of them. And you can even put this in your bath. I like doing that as well. It's in the bath bombs. They put essential oils typically. Again, I wouldn't trust it because it's mixed with other chemicals, So maybe you can make your own pure bath using your own Himalayan salt and coarse, fine Mediterranean sea salt. And your own blend of oils, and maybe even throw a squeeze of lemon in there or something. As I did in my foot bath video, you can see all my bath videos. I've done all of those sort of things. So this is just one video basis where you can have a demonstration of what this really is, what I've been talking about for so long. I've promoted all these aromatherapy diffusers to you. I've shown them all, and people ask me constantly, what are these? What is the purpose? What do they do? This just vaporizes these oils into a breathable component. So you just mix water and oil, and it just creates an aroma in the air that makes your mood enhance and relaxes you and calms you typically. Even if you put peppermint, I find that it just smells overall nice in the room, and you just automatically feel better and more calm and at peace within yourself. And it helps promote your overall balance, like I've said. So everything's connecting, everything has a link to one another. So when you start to think on this and then maybe look back and watch this video again, you take notes with me, you'll start to see the pieces form like a puzzle, and you'll realize the true purpose of these oils and why they're created. And many people were skeptical in the beginning and thought, these are works of some force and they don't really work and they're just made to help people grow their business. I don't know. There are all sorts of speculations on that, but disregarding those, this is just to prove, in a sense, that this is not just all fact. There are some fact-based components to it, such as the chemistry behind free radicals and antioxidants in the cells, and how the frequencies work, and the electromagnetic spectrum of our bodies and our overall well-being. But keep in mind that these all work together as one, and there are different discrepancies based upon people's popular beliefs and opinions of aromatherapy and essential oil. So obviously I'm very passionate about this, so just please keep that in mind before formulating your own opinion in the comments per se. So I've already stated all that I needed to, and thank you very much for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you want more of these facts videos and hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys